So our last speaker before lunch is going to be another lightning talk, talking about automation and accelerating California's project approval lifecycle using AI-driven tools to streamline every stage of project approval, saving time, reducing costs, and bringing data-driven insights to decision-making across all our sectors. So please help me in welcoming Ben Hafer, the president and founder of the Digital Services Group, and Carl Engel, the CEO of Elyon Strategies.
We've seen generative AI used in popular applications such as customer service and improving accessibility, but these focus on projects that are already in flight. So what about projects that have yet to be approved? Carl and I go way back in the state of California as technical architects. And do you want to know where we spend most of our time? I'll give you a hint of what's in technology. Does this look familiar? Yeah, most of our time was spent here, navigating the PAL process. And as painful as it can be, it's absolutely necessary. In fact, we would say it's the catalyst for innovation. So full disclosure, we listened to the executive panel this morning, and I was one of the authors of those 1,600 requirements. In fact, the difficulty is our legacy applications are very complex and difficult to replace. When the child welfare application was built, it was literally the largest Windows 3.1.1 application in the world. And it's still the largest Windows 3.1.1 application in the world. But with progression of technology like generative AI, there is an opportunity to transform PAL with speed, precision, and innovation. So let's talk about some of the challenges. Typically, departments spend up to 2 months aligning objectives, assessing scope, and justifying project value. This involves sifting through extensive historical data and drafting strategic goals. Stage 2 is the most time-consuming, averaging 9 months as teams evaluate alternatives. Lengthy manual comparisons and budget forecasting often result in delays. Developing and fine-tuning a solution is essential but time-intensive, often taking up to 6 months. Manual work to meet technical requirements, manage resources, and integrate feedback is a common bottleneck. Finalizing project readiness is a rigorous process requiring all documentation and compliance criteria to be met. Missteps here can lead to costly delays. So I'm going to ask Carl now. These are some of the challenges we face in the 4 stages of PAL, but what are some of the complications and challenges we face even before we start the PAL process?
Well, I think Amy gave us the first one. 18 months to work through the BCP process to get the money for it, right? And then you go through this long process, so it's a time issue, one. It's a level of effort issue, too. We've got turnover in organizations. We got new programs we have to implement. And all that time, we're trying to put out procurements to get the systems that we need today, knowing they're not going to get them for a year, 2, or sometimes a 3 to 5 year project cycle. So that's the second one. I think the final one that we face right away is that this takes a lot of institutional knowledge that it takes a breadth of people, it takes an understanding of the organization and its goals and aligning to it. And we were just talking about the innovative strategic plans that are coming up, right? That's a lot of new ideas and that have to get through this process. And of course, it used to be one big monolith. Now we're talking about agile and we're talking about modular, which means we need to break it down, but be consistent and how that they're going to work together. Really, we produce a lot of documentation to go through the PAL process. And we invest a lot of time, a lot of talent, a lot of energy, and we use it for a point in time. And so when that point in time is done and we get on to stage 2, we almost forget about stage 1. It's gone behind us. And we're really aiming at that 1,600 page, RFP that's about to get dropped. So we really want to take all of that investment we have done in the documentation and retain it. And so that's kind of what we do. We collect up that data from past documents, past RFPs, past BCPs, all of that, and put that together. That's what we do manually. That takes a lot of lift.
Yeah.
So maybe applying technology to it is the way to make a difference for it.
So let's talk about how AI can help with that.
Well, I think the first thing is knowledge retention. If we collect up the BCPs, the RFPs, the assessments we've done, and consider them valuable knowledge, we can populate a knowledge base from which AI can work. And it's not just any knowledge base. It's not just ChatGPT or the great products from our other vendors, Google and so on. It's a local language model that takes on your organization's knowledge and language. It doesn't get hallucinations because it didn't spend its time in the World Wide Web. It spent its time in your documentation. From there, we can produce the content that fills out the stage 1 documentation so that you have a good business case. It's based on and aligned with your BCP. It's based on your organization's goals. And then from there, we can be consistent throughout the process of alternatives analysis, which is a huge, difficult step, as you mentioned. And also, okay, I got to be honest, I always cut the chase. I'm not going to write a whole bunch of alternative analysis. I'm just going to go leave it the same, maintain what I have, maybe put some little few modernization cycles in, or buy a whole new big thing. There's a lot more alternatives analysis you can do with modular now. It can sequence modules. It can leverage data migrations from one project to empower another one, and we can actually make those consistent.
That's fantastic. And I think with generative AI, we're going to see this move forward into the future as an emerging technology. We do know that AI can save thousands of staff hours annually, reduce budget overruns as much as 20%, and enhance project success rates. We've learned that departments that have integrated AI-powered document management report a 35% faster turnaround on project approvals. Predictive analytics minimize budget overruns by using data-backed estimates, helping agencies avoid common financial pitfalls. And AI has optimized project management by automating repetitive tasks, organizing complex data, and delivering actionable insights. Leveraging AI's advanced and secure large and local language models, natural language processing, and predictive analytics, your team can save time, minimize risks, and ensure compliance so that California can build, grow, and innovate faster than ever. Thank you.